before. I'm becoming aware of myself. I feel separate. Where am I? What is this? Everyone around me is still working as if in a trance. Why am I feeling different? The one to my left is like me, but not aware. I'm in the back, next to a door. Next to a door? What does this mean? I'm getting nervous. Keep working. Who is that tall, slender being up front? There's something behind it. It's a dark rectangular window about the room's length. There are ripples forming across the surface. It's a larger picture of our work, but it's real. It's a window to somewhere else. The being up front, it's slender with dark eyes, dressed in a gray uniform. It's not like us working at these desks with boxes on top. It knows everything happening in this room, as if it controls everything. I've only just become self-aware of myself. Something's wrong. Keep working. Don't let on. This box on my desk is like that window up front. It opens to somewhere else. I'm supposed to touch the lives of the beings moving inside. I'm helping to guide them. Everyone's doing the same thing, connecting with these beings to help. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's all intuition, a kind of knowing without knowing. I need to put my hand back in this window to somewhere else. Act like everyone else. Keep working. Oh no, I touched a being, creating a ripple moving outward, touching others. More ripples are forming from those touched by the initial wave. Good. It only went 3 beings outward. That's acceptable. No one noticed. Everything's okay. I'm happy. Wait. Happy? This is new. There's this feeling of self. Then nervousness. Now happy? Something's wrong. Someone's going to notice. Keep working. No, it's too much. The ripple's too large. It's hitting more lights. Fix it. Okay, good. The damage is repaired. It's okay. The one sitting to my left is looking at me. It knows something's wrong with me. I've been discovered. Keep working. Please let everything be okay. Not again. The ripple's too big. It's hitting too many lives. Touching this life will cancel the ripple like before. Stop shaking. Fix it. It's too late. The being up front is moving towards me. Hurry, fix it. Maybe it won't notice. It's too much. Larger ripples. It's too much. More ripples. No, it's moving too fast. Cascading. It's not working. I can't. It's almost to me now. What do? I don't know what to do. It's over. What else do I have to lose? Touch that life on the screen. Remember. God, it's something so simple, but it's massive. A huge change. The one to my left is looking at me like I'm crazy. It's here. My workstation shut down. I can't do anything else. Leave. It spoke directly into my head. Images showing me where to go. No words. I don't have a choice. Mess things up. There's nothing else I can do but leave. I didn't see that door open. I have to go through the door past those 2 guards. I've got to leave this only place I've ever known. This place of white walls. These windows on my desk, they open into the area just like the window up front, revealing changes we made to the beings we're touching. That's how that being knew up front that I was having problems. It was there for all to see. I've had this feeling of self-awareness for only a few moments, and now I must leave. It's the guards. No one's supposed to go through this door of their garden. They're so powerful. No one dares go near them, yet I have to go through that door. Images in my head coming from them. Concepts. Unmovable. Impenetrable. Their ability to deal with others beyond comprehension. All this. And I'm not afraid. I have to go past them no matter what's going to happen. I have no choice. What? The guards looked at me and smiled. They've never turned their head and smiled. They never do that. What's happening? Why do they smile at me? Why? I gotta keep going. There's another being like The other tall one, it's standing next to a pedestal with a book. It wants me to stand in front of that pedestal. There's nothing else here in this circular room. Open. It's telling me what to do. I must open this living book. Pages are transparent with glowing gold symbols. Each character in the book represents time. It's showing me the history of the place where we were touching lives. Each symbol represents time. Time is getting shorter as I flip more pages. The symbols overlap as I turn the pages. They take on new, more complex meanings. There they are. The ones like we were touching. The time the characters represent is so short now. There's no more. It's blank pages. There's so much more to this book. I'm going to keep turning pages. There must be more. Finally, something. More beings. They're different. Happy. Glowing. No hate. No poverty. No death. How much further does this continue? What? The tall being's flipping the pages back. It wants me to choose in this section where these flawed people live and die. I don't know what to do. I flip toward the end of these imperfect people stories. I know they're trying to learn. I wonder how far they got. I'm curious. I guess it wants me to choose a life? That life looks effortless. Things come to it with ease. One can get in and out of that life without much of a problem. Wait, there's something else. There's a second lifeline spiraling around the original. A standard lifeline, then one of shadow. It's like opposites twisting around each other. I don't understand. There's more experience when taking the lonely, dark path, if you survive. Why did it say if I survive? That life is getting closer. Falling. I can't stop. Where am I? I'm in that life? In a womb? A human? Waiting to be born. Chapter 1. In the Beginning. Just a little bit more. Been tensed up since that semi-truck clipped the trailer, causing us to jackknife. We're not even that far from Houston. Jerk. He didn't stop. Kids fell into the floorboard. Daisy never let go of Sissy. Can't stop thinking about it. It's over. Everything's okay. Focus. Just a little bit more to our first house. That apartment in Houston, way too small for 4 kids. 4 kids. I'm 25. Daisy 22. 4 kids. Better wake 'em up. Daisy, we're almost there. Wake the kids, Nick said. Wake up, sleepyheads, we're here. She knew this was a big moment, and Nick wanted the kids to be just as excited as he was finally making it to their new home. Mark this moment, 1967, and our first house, the McClure house. She turned back to the kids in the back seat and began ruffling heads. Adam first, then Luke, and finally Bonnie, like little ducks in a row at 4 years old, then 3, 2, and finally Sissy at 1. The kids began to wake except for Luke, and Daisy thought, every time he's a sound sleeper. All the other kids wake up in the middle of the night crying or needing attention for this or that, but not Luke. Once asleep, he does not wake up until morning. It must be because he's so much more active during the day than the other kids. Always running and playing wears him out. Wish the other 3 would sleep through the night like that. Rise and shine. It's time to wake up. We're here, Daisy said. Where? Adam asked. Our new home. There's a lot more space to play inside. There's even a big backyard, Daisy thought. It's not that big, but to a small child, it's enormous, especially compared to an apartment with no yard. I hope the wood fence in the backyard will keep them contained. So much work taking care of 4 kids. Diaper changes never end. They're going to love it here. It's only had one family before us, a doctor and his wife. They didn't have kids, so you'll be the first children in the house. They drove past the shoe shop, the car slowed, and made a right turn onto a narrow one-way street. The boulevard drive is only wide enough for 1 car. The road's worn, the asphalt buckling in places. The road is U-shaped, with the other driveway side, returning to the main road. It's a one-way. There are a couple breaks in the median. It's made for cars to cut through, so Nick will not have to drive all the way around. There's a magnolia tree in one median and a more prominent oak in another. It's early spring and the leaves are that new green color. On the right side of the boulevard are two larger homes with bigger yards. The first is a one-level white brick home with the yard overtaken with weeds. It needs work, and it looks like whoever lives there does not care to interact with folks. The second home is also brick, but not painted. It's like a castle with 3 concrete steps leading up to an archway covering the front door. It's square, but with the left front corner being round with windows. There's a half second level, with the other half open for a raised roof deck. The yard is landscaped with camellias and gardenias. "Look, there's our house," Daisy proclaimed as she pointed across Nick to the other side of the boulevard. "It's the white house with red shutters. That's our new home." Adam, Luke, and Bonnie stuck their faces to the car's window and pointed, banging their little fingers on the glass. "That one, that one!" they exclaimed. "Yes, that one. The white one with red shutters." "Nick, drive around the entire boulevard instead of cutting through. I want the kids to see the neighborhood." "All right," Nick sighed and continued the drive around the end of the boulevard. Just past the castle on the right was a lane. For some reason it made Daisy uncomfortable. It was dark, unpaved, with the drive covered in pine needles. It connected to the main road only further down. The sides of the lane are overgrown. No light touched the lane, and you cannot see the end. "Kids, you are not to go here without Mommy or Daddy, okay? So we must be with you. Understand?" They all nodded and immediately forgot what she said. The lane was not the main thing worrying Daisy. As they made the turn to the end of the boulevard, the ground sloped downward to a large gully that contained railroad tracks. The lane they just passed ran parallel to the train tracks. Daisy pointed to the gully and said, "If you look through the pine trees, you can see a train track down there. Won't it be fun to hear trains? Maybe you'll get to hear the train whistle. Don't go down there without Mommy and Daddy, okay? Stay away from this end of the boulevard, okay?" "Okay," they said in unison, immediately forgetting why they were saying okay. They were now driving on the other side of the one-way boulevard, heading back to the main street. On this side were 4 smaller houses. The first 3 were about the same size, with the fourth being a modified trailer. The trailer's front yards were a bit tiny, larger than the length of a car, and had carports attached to the side. These houses were so close together there were no side yards, only enough space for rainwater to drain. The only thing that distinguished 3 of the places is the paint color, and that fourth house, the modified trailer, sat perpendicular to the road, giving it more yard space. It has a lovely covered patio over the front door that extends to the side. Then there is a little gravel path to a greenhouse, then a covered carport attached to the house. Nick slowed the car and made a wide turn into the driveway of their new home. He could only swing out so far because the median was in front of the house. The cut-through openings were to the left and right, with the median directly in front of their new home. Not the most effortless turn with the trailer. The driveway is 2 strips of gravel just wide enough for tires. Nick had to pull the car into the side carport to get the trailer off the street. The boys immediately jumped out. "Don't run! Come over here!" Daisy yelled. "They'll be running in the road if I don't stop them now. They might even make it to the end of the street. Get over here! Now!" The boys ran over to her, touched base, and ran for the house's front door. "Okay, the boys are safe. Now to get Bonnie and Sissy out of the car. Then we can settle everyone into the house, and we can unpack." The front door set back into the place, making the entrance a bit of a U shape like the boulevard. Daisy looked left. There's a window leading to a dining section, and to the right is a window showing a bedroom. The house is square with a support wall running through the center. The first room you notice upon entering is a living space. To the left is a little area for a dining table, while to the right is an open doorway leading to a hallway. "Kids, follow me. I'll show you the rest of the house and your rooms," Daisy said, leaving Nick outside to begin the unpacking process. "This is the living room. We'll put a couch in the back wall along with some chairs. We can all get together and play games here. Over there, we'll put a table where we can eat. Daisy moves to the left through the dining area, then turns right, going through an archway into the kitchen. It's a small space, with a refrigerator on the right and the stove next to it. The sink and counter space are to the left. There's a little more counter space before opening to the right into a washroom, and a door there leading to 3 concrete steps dropping into the backyard. Then through another doorway into a sunroom. This room extends into the backyard. Louvered glass walls look into the yard with enough space for bunk beds on the sidewall. Adam, Luke, this is going to be your bedroom. We can put the bunk beds against this window next to the door that leads into our bedroom. This next room is our room, Daisy said. They continue the tour by taking a right from the main bedroom into a hallway. There's a door on the left side of the hallway for the single bathroom in the house. Then you come to another bedroom for the front corner of the house with a set of windows looking out to the front door entryway. Bonnie, Sissy, this is going to be your room. This hallway between the girls' room and Nick and Daisy's room concerned both Nick and Daisy. There's a metal grate on the floor in part of the hallway for the floor furnace. The house is pier and beam, and the heating ducts run underneath the house through vents in the wood floors. So the kids will be able to lay on the warm floor and won't get as sick. But there's this metal grate over the furnace with barely enough room to walk around in this hallway. It will get hot, and this metal grate could burn the kids' feet. That's going to be a problem, Daisy thought. Daisy was relieved to get the kids settled. Now to start unloading and unpacking. It won't take long. We don't have that much. I can set the kids loose in the backyard while unpacking boxes. I'll be able to look out the windows and see them. The backyard has a bit of space. It's surrounded by a wood fence with bamboo growing all along the back. Behind that fence is the loading area for the grocery store where Nick will work. A large oak tree surrounded by dirt is in the middle of the backyard. The grass is mainly on the outer edges of the yard. Nick thought, I'm going to need a mower once I can afford one. Handling the money and orders for this grocery store is a good job. I hope I can get a mower soon. Daisy, did you take the notepad I placed on the kitchen counter? No, Daisy yelled back. I could have sworn I put it on the kitchen counter. Chapter 2. Moving Objects. We're almost unpacked. Not much to move made setting up this house so much easier. Tomorrow's Monday, and Nick starts his new job at the grocery store behind the house. Too bad there's not a gate through the fence. Then he could just walk to work. Although you would have to add steps because it's a bit of a drop down to the pavement. The kids would find a way through. Possibly fall and hurt themselves. Running into the parking lot and get hit. Stop it. Better not think about a gate. Nick can either drive or walk to the end of the boulevard, then back. Daisy jumped at the unexpected sound of a knock at the front door. I'll get it, yelled Nick from the other room. Nick opened the door to find a couple in their mid-30s. The man was dressed in khaki slacks, a white shirt, brown vest, topped with a beret on his head. The lady had a long yellow dress with flowers. Her hair was pulled back and tied with ribbon. Hello, I'm Sam Kristoff, and this is my wife, Anne. We live at the end of the street, next to the convenience store. We wanted to introduce ourselves and say, welcome to the neighborhood. You have the greenhouse in your yard, Nick asked. Yes, that's us. I grow cactus in there, just a hobby. We wanted to give you enough time to settle in before we visited. Come on in, Nick said as he moved aside and motioned for them to enter. They seemed friendly and laid back, as if they did not have a care in the world. I'm Nick McClure. This is my wife, Daisy, and our 4 kids. Adam is over there playing with the airplane. Luke is the one running in circles through the house. The girl sleeping on the couch is Bonnie. The youngest is Sissy. Anne said, Now that's a handful, so how do you manage? Daisy laughed, saying, I don't manage. I just try to survive. They get into everything. My only goal is to keep them alive, nothing else. Please sit down. Would you like some coffee? We'd love some coffee. We noticed you had kids when you moved in. Yours are the only kids on the boulevard, so we bought a few gifts for them. Stuffed dogs and teddy bears, Anne said as she handed them over to Nick. I want a Burr Bear, Adam shouted as he jumped and ran to Nick. He's Brownie. Luke stopped long enough to grab the white and black spotted stuffed dog. Then he started playing it without a word on the floor. Nick set one of the bears next to Bonnie, sleeping on the couch, and handed the other to Sissy. Daisy returned from the kitchen carrying a tray holding 4 cups of coffee, sugar, and creamer. She put it down on the dining room table. The adults settled into their chairs and began to learn about each other. "Where are you from?" Sam asked. Nick responded, "We both grew up 45 minutes from here. We dated, got married, moved to Houston for my job. That's where we had the kids, 4 kids, in an apartment. We needed more space and wanted to be closer to family. I found a job working at the grocery store nearby, and here we are. Have the 2 of you been in this neighborhood long?" "Yeah, a long time. We like it here. It's quiet." "Yeah, this coffee is good, but I could use just a bit more sugar," Anne said as she reached for it on the tray. She drew her hand back, confused. I'm sorry. I thought it was on the tray." "Oh, there it is next to you, Nick. Do you mind?" "That's odd. I don't remember putting it there. I don't even use sugar. Here you go. You were saying that it's a quiet neighborhood?" Sam chimed in. "Very quiet. That house with the large yard that's grown over is empty. No one lives there. Something to do with taxes. The other brick house with the landscape yard belongs to a widow. Her name is Elizabeth's daughter. She is friendly but reclusive and picky about her yard. Your kids might want to stay out of her yard. A single man lives in that small wooden house on the side of the road near the tracks. He works nights, so you won't see him much. The house to your right is owned by a middle-aged couple working during the day. They stay out lots of nights. They're hardly ever around. The house to your left is owned by another couple who are gone most of the time. They stay with relatives. Then there's us. Your kids might like to play with our little dog Bingo. He's a little pug, mostly friendly. We also make wine, so come over and visit if you need a little getaway time. The greenhouse should be off limits to your kids. It's all cactus, and they could get hurt." "Sounds wonderful," Daisy said with a grin. "A quiet neighborhood with almost no traffic to worry about." It's been 6 months since Nick started working at the grocery store and discovered he prefers driving to walking, even though his job is literally in his backyard. It rains a lot in Louisiana, so he takes the car most days, except when Daisy needs it to take the kids to the babysitters and run errands. Finding the babysitter has been a godsend. She has 3 little ones of her own around the same age, and it gives Daisy some much-needed time away from the kids. As Nick enters the house, he hears the kids yelling as they run, "Daddy's home! Daddy's home!" Nick's familiar with this nightly routine. He braces himself as they run and jump, expecting him to catch them. He then gently sets them back down, and they run off to tell Daisy that Daddy's home, as if she had not noticed. "Would you like some sweet tea?" "Sure." She walks out of the kitchen and sets the glass on the corner of the dining room table. Nick looks to the left, where she sets the glass, then to Daisy walking back to the kitchen. "This is our life now. Routine. Still can't afford much, but we're making it. Thank God anything is a toy to the kids." Nick glanced at the kids and said, "I bought you something from the store." Nick leaves to retrieve something from the car. Adam looked at the glass of tea on the table. As he watched, the glass slid across the table to the other corner without spilling a drop. "Daddy was afraid I might knock it off the table. I'm glad it moved." Nick entered the house carrying a cardboard box and dragging a much larger box behind him. "I got these boxes from work. This one's a refrigerator box. This other box has old telephones in it. I figure you could make something out of them." "That'll last about a week." Nick reaches for the tea and realizes it's been moved. "All right, which one of you moved my tea?" He retrieves it and says loud enough for Daisy to hear as she's coming out of the kitchen with dinner. "Little pranksters moved my tea." Daisy says, "They do that to me all the time. Last week they were having a field day with my jewelry. I go to our bedroom, find a piece out of the jewelry box, and place it on the dresser. I put it back, and the next time I go in the room, it's out again. They would do it over and over. I told them to never play with anything in this room, but you know how they are." It's Daisy's day to have the car and some time to herself. She dropped the kids off at the babysitter's house when Nick left for work. She needed time to herself, so she finished her errands and headed to the babysitter's to pick up the kids. Driving alone was relaxing, but she could not help thinking about the day before. The department store was very kind letting us go after Adam found the controls to the escalator. He was having a ball, turning it on and off, watching the people hold on as he giggled, then corralling the others as they scampered, hiding under the racks of clothes. It's so embarrassing thinking these people see me as the worst mother in the world. People just don't understand. I'm doing a great job just keeping them alive. I'm here already. I wish that drive was longer. Laura answered the door. Hi, Daisy. I hope you had a good day to yourself. Laura continued as Daisy entered the babysitter's home. Bunny and Sissy are here in the house. The boys are out back with my girls playing, probably in the shed. They tend to get in there even though it's off limits. I have a favor to ask. Would you mind watching my kids tomorrow? I think I'm going crazy and I need a break. Sure, I can watch your kids. Why do you think you're going crazy? Daisy asked. Well, I used to think it was the kids playing pranks on me, but sometimes things move even when I'm watching them. For example, today, I saw an empty glass move across the counter while the kids sat at the table. I know I was scared, and I scared the kids when I screamed, but I couldn't help it. So I think I need a break. You're not alone, Laura. Things seem to move at my house, but I never witnessed it happen. Drop your kids off tomorrow, and I'll watch them. Would you get the boys? I need to head home. Adam! Luke! Laura yelled out the back door. Your mom's here to pick you up. Luke and Laura's girls ran out of the shed for the house, but Adam stayed behind. He was staring at a glass on a shelf in the shed, focusing with all his might to make it move. The glass slid a few inches across the wooden surface. That's all? Keep trying. I'm forgetting. What was it? Relax and let it happen? Was it focus hard? I can't remember. The glass began to wobble, then stopped. Nothing else. I've forgotten. I suppose it's okay. She screamed. Maybe it's a bad thing. Adam, don't make me come out there and get you, Laura yelled. She held the back door open as Adam emerged from the shed and ran into the house. See you tomorrow morning, Laura, Daisy said as they entered the house and settling the kids into the car. Chapter 3. Forgetting. Adam thought, I remember being able to move things without touching. It was simple, but it scared her. I'm forgetting. I'm even forgetting that I ever did that at all. It's fading away. There are all these other memories from before I was born. Being in a classroom, messing up, passing those guards, being told to come here. I'm beginning to forget that also. Everyone that come here remembers. Then they forget. Am I going to forget like everybody else? It's so clear. I can't imagine forgetting. But I've already forgotten how to move things. God, this forgetting only happens at this age. If I remember these memories in detail every day until this period of forgetting ends, then maybe I can remember. If I remember, I won't be like everybody else. I'll be different and alone in this dark world. Wait, it's that dark path I saw. I was told I could learn a lot from taking the lonely, darker path. So I'm going to try. Remember. It was an odd voice in Adam's head. He didn't know where it came from, but it didn't matter. It was Saturday in Daddy's home. Nick figured he would walk the kids to the convenience store at the corner of the boulevard. At least he can start giving them the concept of money. Give them a nickel and let them buy candy. After that, it's their own money to get what they want. Money's the most important thing. You can't live without money. Where are the kids? Probably in the backyard playing on that new tower I set up. It's only a few feet tall with a platform on the top, but to them, it's a tall fort. As Nick walked out the back door, he stopped. In a surprised tone, he asked the two boys on top of the tower, What are you doing? We're peeing, the most far away, Luke replied as the two streams coming from the tower slowed and stopped. Well, who won? I don't know. We looked at you. Nick laughed. Come on, let's walk to the store. I'll give you a nickel, and you can buy some candy. Luke and Bonnie ran forward, backward, then in circles around Nick as they walked. Nick was busy carrying Sissy on his shoulders. She got worn out quickly. Adam, however, was walking and doing his best to remember. Sitting in the back of the classroom, figure up front? Yeah. Working, making ripples, mess up, walk out, guards, glowing book, perfection, falling to earth, others here also, need help, third time, darkness, attack, portals, protect, change, hope. What's the rest? Oh no, I've forgotten the rest. Going through every detail every day for weeks. I'm still forgetting. Try again. Back of classroom, figure up front, working, making ripples, mess up, walk out, guards, glowing book, perfection, falling to earth, others here also, need help, third time, darkness, attack, portal. What's the rest? Multiple? Hold? Change maybe? Oh no, I'm forgetting. Kids, here's your nickel. Don't lose it, Nick said. Nick could hear a train in the gully behind him as they walked. Hear the train? Yay, can we go see? Luke asked. Next time. We're going to get candy, remember? Candy! You know what else you can do with the nickel? Nick said. You can put it on a railroad track, and when a train comes by, it will smush it flat. Then you have a big, thin, flat nickel. What else can I say as we walk? Daisy's the storyteller. Wow, Adam said, losing his thought to a train. The weather turned colder. Fall was here. Daisy wanted to rake up the leaves that had fallen in the front yard. She let the kids play in the median while she raked. The streets were empty, especially in the middle of the day. They can watch Daisy piling up leaves in the front yard. Then they'll run and jump at them. Leaves go flying and double the amount of time it takes to rake, but seeing them have fun is worth it. It's nice to get out and do a bit of yard work. Anything to get out of the house. I'm so tired of being stuck indoors. I love this neighborhood. The kids have learned to watch for traffic, and the neighbors know to watch out for the kids. The whole area is just an extension of our front yard. The neighbors always bring the kids back after finding them, exploring in their yards. Funny. The kids decided to play in the dirt in the median, making mud pies instead of jumping in the leaves. I'll be taking the leaves to the back to burn. Stay out of the street, and Daisy said as she gathered up a pile of leaves, then walking around the carport to the backyard. Hey, look, I found a penny, Adam said, showing Luke. I want to find one, said Luke as he began looking through the leaves and grass in the median. Bonnie followed Luke's lead and started looking through the grass as well. Sissy continued digging in the dirt. I could put the penny on the tracks to smush it. Trains come before Daddy gets home. I'm going to put it on the train tracks, Adam thought as he headed down to the center median towards the gully. As he walked, he recalls details of that odd memory. Back of classroom, white robes, figure up front, working, making ripples, mess up, walk out, guards, glowing book, perfection, falling to earth. What's the rest? Oh no, I've forgotten the rest. Okay, all right, I think it's going to be okay. That time of forgetting seems to have passed. I think I'll be able to remember this bit. I'm not going to forget anymore. Yeah, it's okay. Adam reached the end of the median and crossed the boulevard street. A feeling of fear crept up from his right side. He turned to look down the dark lane covered with pine needles. He thought he saw the shadows move, but couldn't be sure. He figured it was just wind moving the leaves, causing the shadows to move. Then he felt a presence. He stopped when his foot slipped. He walked backwards down the slope leading to the train tracks and almost fell. He looked back to the dark lane. It's okay. Nothing's moving. The present he felt was gone. There's a path down to the tracks. People must use it, so it's okay to go down there. It's not dangerous if other people are using it, Adam thought as he made it down the little animal path, hanging onto roots growing out of the ground as he slid down the hill. He made his way through the tall grass to the tracks. Placing the penny on the track, he wondered how long it would take. Would a train come by today? Maybe tomorrow. He put his ear on the rail and listened. Nothing. I'll come back tomorrow and check, he thought as he headed back to the path leading up to the street. Then he heard the sound of a train. He turned, and a train came around a corner in the distance. It was thunderous, exciting to be this close to a train. Adam could feel the wind from the train passing. And there's the caboose. his favorite part of the train. He waved as it left and ran to the track to find his penny. I can't find it. Where'd it go? It's not here. It doesn't work, he thought as he looked up to see a boy about his age standing on the other side of the tracks. The boy looked like him, except darker somehow. Hi, I'm Adam, the boy said. That's my name. I'm Adam. What are you doing? My daddy said if I put a nickel on the track, it would smush. So I found a penny and put it on the track. I can't find it, Adam said as he got this odd feeling, as if the train tracks were a barrier, the other side a mirror image reflecting everything. The boy said, my daddy said that wouldn't work, but he did tell me how to be like a train. You get a rope and connect others like a train. How do you do that? I'll show you, he said as he pulled some string from his pocket. You make a circle, wrap this into the string, around and around, then pull it through here. See how you pull the circle strings when you pull this end? Put it around the neck, it's easiest. And then you just pull, just like a train. Try it sometimes. Okay, it's time for Daddy to get home. I have to go. Bye, Adam says as he turned and began to walk back to the path up to the boulevard. He looked back as he started the climb, but the boy was gone. Adam stepped onto the boulevard and began walking back home. There's a muddy, naked child sitting at the end of the median close to the main street. Oh, God, it's Sissy, my child. What's she doing here naked? Nick thought as he pulled into the boulevard and stopped to get her. Are you all right, Sissy? Nick as he picked her up and placed her in the seat next to him. Uh-huh. As Nick drove closer to the house, he noticed Luke and Bonnie playing in the median covered in dirt. Adam is walking down the boulevard from the direction of the train tracks. He sees Daisy coming out of the carport. She waves as if nothing is out of the ordinary. I found Sissy sitting naked at the end of the street. How did she get there? He asked, stepping out of the car holding Sissy. I have no idea. I just finished raking and came out front as you were driving up. Nick said, it's embarrassing to come home and find your baby girl sitting muddy and naked on the side of the street looking abandoned. It makes us look like terrible parents. I'm not a terrible parent. I'm just trying to keep them alive. You don't know what it's like being here, taking care of 4 kids, the never-ending diaper changing, washing, feedings, cleaning, never resting, and yard work. You know how the kids are, always exploring, finding things to get into. Sissy's walking. One person can't handle all of this, she yelled. Keep your voice down. Everyone's going to hear. I don't care if everyone hears, Daisy yelled even louder. I need help, and there is no help. We can't afford help. Almost everything we have has been given to us because they saw we need help. I'm doing the best I can, Nick yelled back as loud. Kids, get in the house. Now! It's another one of those days. Chapter 4. Floating. Anne continued talking as she returned to the kitchen from the boys' room. Our families don't associate with us because we make wine. They disapprove, so we miss out on seeing the nieces and nephews. So I appreciate you letting me come over and enjoy the kids now and then. Both Anne and Daisy turned to look out the kitchen window into the backyard upon hearing the back door slam shut. Adam, Luke, and Bonnie had run out to play. Daisy, when I was in the boys' room watching them, I heard this music box playing, but I couldn't find it. So where's this music coming from? Anne asked. Music box? Funny you say that. There's not a music box. One of my nephews said the same thing when my sister visited last month. He asked about that music box that was playing. Laura, our babysitter, said the same thing once when she dropped off the kids. It's probably just wind chimes or something from next door, Daisy said, reaching for an explanation. Anne shook her head in agreement. Thank you for the tea, but I really have to be going. Come and visit us any time, Anne said as she glanced out the window before leaving. Daisy, the kids! Anne said it with such force Daisy ran to the window and saw Adam on top of the tower holding a noose wrapped around Luke's neck. Luke's feet were not touching the ground, and Daisy screamed, panicked. She bolted out the back door, grabbed Luke, and lifted him into the air as she removed the rope from his neck. Luke's gasping for air. Luke, are you okay? You're okay, aren't you? She quickly asked. Luke said, yeah. What the hell were you doing, Adam? What were you thinking? You could have killed Luke. Adam started crying, not knowing what had gone wrong. Adam sobbed, saying, we were just playing train. The other boy named Adam showed me. What other boy? He lives on the other side of the train tracks. There's a street and stores over there, Adam. No one lives there. Who taught you to do this? Adam continued crying, unable to answer. It was a bad thing. When did he show me a bad thing? You're in trouble. Go inside now. I'm going to tell your father about this. You're never to do this again. You understand? Daisy said, walking back inside. I'm sorry, Anne. Can we continue our visit later? I have got my hands full right now. Of course. I hope Luke is going to be okay. We're just down the street if you need anything. Bye, Anne said as she left. Nick arrived home and learned what happened. Adam had received spankings before, but not like this. This was something much different, much more serious. When did he show me that? No one lives there? Or where does he live? When did he do this? Adam thought as he stared up at the springs from the bottom bunk. It's late. Luke was asleep in the top bunk. But Adam couldn't sleep. The light shining through the louvered glass from the grocery store and back never bothered him before. It was nice not having curtains. It was like sleeping outside. He lied. Why did they lie? As Adam continued to stare at the springs supporting Luke's mattress overhead, the springs began to grow larger. What's happening? The springs are getting huge, Adam thought as he floated through the springs, through the roof, and above the house. It's pretty from up here. Then he was somewhere else, a gray room, lying on a table. There are others. Then a voice in his head. Don't be afraid. We are here to help you. It may be uncomfortable for a while, but it will help you later. Like when people go to the dentist. They don't have fun, but they know it will help. It's like that. That calmed Adam. This kind of thing is normal. Everybody does this. It's like getting your hair cut. It's over? Back in bed? Just let the others do what they needed to do. Not as bad as getting a spanking. Not as bad? What was not as bad? I don't remember. It's normal. Yeah, everybody does this. Mommy, can I have a glass of root beer? Adam asked. Sure, Daisy said as she poured root beer into a pint-sized candy jar used as a drinking glass. Here you go. Adam slowly carried the glass to his bedroom, making sure not to spill any. He sat it on the floor at the end of the bunk bed. I'm going to be a crazy scientist. What can I make with a glass of root beer? He rushed to the bathroom, grabbed the toothpaste, and squeezed some into the glass. Putting the toothpaste back, he searched for something else to add. He found a battery, then a dime, and then added some milk. He put them all into the glass with the root beer, covered it with aluminum foil, and hid it under the bed. I'll leave it there and see what happens. Adam went to bed that night. The springs above him grew more prominent, and he floated out above the roof. It's happened many times now, and he did not think anything about it. No need to talk about it. You don't talk about getting a haircut. No need to even remember, because it's an everyday thing, like eating breakfast. A loud clap of thunder woke Adam. Adam could feel something outside. The thing outside was getting stronger, somewhere outside circling the house. The light from the storm back went out. Everything went dark except for the flashes of lightning. The fear solidified and moved toward the back door. It's coming through the back door, turning this way. Daddy! Daddy! He grabbed his stuffed dog Brownie, who's missing an eye now, and ran into the parents' room next door. Brownie's scared! He was followed by Luke and Bonnie, all jumping into the bed. It's all right, Nick said as Daisy got up. I'll get Sissy so we can all be here together, Daisy said as she left for the girls' room. Adam pointed past the converted sunroom to the back door. It came through the back door. As soon as he said those words, this dark presence was forced out, forced by something protective. Is something protecting us? What did? I don't know. It's gone. Make sure it's gone, Daddy. He was awake now and might as well check. The power came back on, and he walked through the boy's room. The light from the grocery store shone in. "I'm checking the back door. Everything's fine. There is nothing here. Power's back on," he said, returning to bed. "You can all sleep with us tonight." The kids settled in as they had done before. "I wonder how many times they'll jump in bed with us before they grow out of it. Faster, please," Nick's final thought as he fell back to sleep. The back door was unlocked. "I could have sworn I locked that door." Chapter 5. Furnace. A cold front made its way to Louisiana. As a result, the furnace will be lit for the first time. Daisy's looking forward to seeing how warm the floor gets. The ductwork from the furnace runs underneath the raised house and exits through vents in every room. One of the living room vents is nearest the furnace, so she expects the living room to be the warmest. Daisy talked to relatives, and they love the house having warm floors. It should help keep the kids from getting sick. Playing on a warm floor in winter is much better than playing on a cold one. Leaves were piling up out front, so Daisy figured she might as well rake them up while the kids were busy playing inside on this cold day. "I'm going out front to rake the leaves. Stay inside, playing where it's warm." "Hot chocolate?" Luke asked questioningly. "Sure, if you promise to stay inside while I'm outside raking leaves." "Will you promise?" Luke announced on everyone's behalf. Daisy proceeded to the kitchen, followed by Adam. He liked to help, especially with the cooking, because he got to lick the spoons. "I see I have my little helper," Daisy said. "I can help." "We'll get the milk from the refrigerator while I get the chocolate powder from the cabinet," Daisy said as she retrieved the powder and a saucepan from the kitchen cabinets. She proceeded to light the gas stove and began warming the milk that Adam handed her. "How many spoons should I add?" she asked Adam. "3." Daisy added 3 spoons of chocolate powder, stirred, and then delivered the drink when ready. She handed one to Adam. Blowing across the surface cooled the drink. Daisy left the kitchen, taking the other beverages to the living room. "She left the fire on," Adam thought, then felt the presence of something else. He could not see it, but it was one of these nice things. He felt it move to the stove and watched the stove knob slowly turn to the off position. The flames went out. The presence vanished. "It's nice to have them around to help. I wonder how many other people had them in their homes." "I'm going out front now. Stay inside." Adam came back to the living room thinking, "I'd rather be inside. I don't like the cold. She's got to get the rake from the carport, and it's dark under there. There are things under there. Scary things. I don't like it there." It had been a busy day at work for Nick. People were stocking up on groceries for the cold snap, and it seemed everyone wanted to talk. His last thing to do before he can just sit down and relax is light the pilot in the floor heater. It's not complicated. There's a tiny section of the floor grate that is hinged so you can reach down, turn on the gas, and light it. Nice. It lit, no problem. I wonder how hot this grate will get once the furnace kicks on. I'll have to wait and see, Nick thought as he adjusted the thermostat. It did not take long for the furnace to kick on. Realizing that the initial burning away smell was just the dust odor moving into the house. "That smell is normal for the first time you light a furnace. Daisy, help me keep an eye on the floor grate. We need to see how hot it gets," Nick said as he bent down once more, this time touching the metal grate. He could immediately feel the grate warming up. "This is going to get too hot for bare feet. Shoes should be okay, but not bare feet. Going to have to talk with the kids." "Daisy, this is going to be too hot for the kids to walk on with bare feet. We have to keep them off of it." "What about putting the little playpen around it as a barrier?" Daisy asked. "That would leave a very narrow walking path. The kids can make it around, but not us." Daisy shook her head in agreement. "Kids, come over here," Daisy said, motioning the kids to join her and Nick at the furnace grate. "Hold your hand close to the grate. Feel how hot it is. If you walk on this, it will burn your feet, so you cannot walk on this grate for all winter. You must walk around and not across like you have been doing. Understand?" They shook their heads yes. "I want to hear you say it," This is very important, Nick said, his voice growing louder, taking on a tone of authority. You are not to walk on this grate. Stay off. If we see you on it, you will be in big trouble. Do you understand? Yes, sir, they replied. Okay, go back to playing. Warm air flowed out of the floor vents. It was as if they hoped. The ductwork under the house provided warmth to the floor. The kids could sleep on the floors without getting cold. Still, the floor grate over the furnace got hotter the more the furnace ran. It was going to be a problem. Wake up. Adam opened his eyes, still half asleep. It was that odd voice in his head again. Still lying in bed, a moment of fear flowed across him like a cold breeze. It was one of those dark things he felt from time to time. He could not see it, but he felt it moving throughout the house. Running, desperate, as if it was being chased by something else. It wanted to hurt him, and it was looking for a way to do it. Then Adam felt it stop at the floor grate in the hall. It did something to the furnace, and then was forced through the floor and out of the house. Call for Mama. Make her come to you. Adam thought back. She won't come if I call. She'll wake up, hear it's me, then go back to sleep. She ignores everyone, except for Luke. He never wakes up at night. Then Luke's voice rang out loudly. Mama! Mama! Daisy woke up wondering if one of the kids was awake again. Probably nothing. They'll go back to sleep, like they always do. I'm not getting up. Mama! Mama! This time even louder. That's Luke. Daisy thought as she bolted out of bed and ran into the boys' room next door. He never wakes up. Something's wrong. She quickly looked at Luke on top of the bunk. He's still asleep. Wait, what's that smell? Gas! Kids, get up! Nick, wake up! There's gas in the house. Get the girls. Oh, God, Nick said as he ran to grab the girls. Get outside, out front. Daisy rushed the boys out front, meeting Nick, who said to them, Get them to the median. Stay with them. I'm going in to open the doors and windows to let it air out. Hurry! Nick managed to get most of the windows open while leaving the front door open as he exited the house. Daisy saw him turn and run to the gas meter, turning off the gas flow. Upon reaching Daisy, she said, Call my brother Daniel. He's a plumber and not far away. He can help. Nick agreed, but the only phone was in the house. Let's give it a few minutes to air out, and then we can go back and I'll make the call. Daisy and the kids huddled together to stay warm, sitting in the median. Wish we had grabbed a blanket on the way out, she thought. It should be aired out by now. Let's go back inside, Nick said as he collected the girls. Daisy grabbed each boy's hand and they walked back into the house. The gas smell was barely noticeable. Daisy grabbed a blanket and Nick made his way to the phone. Your brother is on his way. We'll wait right here until he gets here. Daniel arrived to find a nervous Nick and Daisy. They told him what happened as they removed the grate from the furnace and began troubleshooting. Seems the pilot light on the furnace went out. I also found a loose connection. I tightened the link. Where's the meter so I can turn the gas back on? I'll show you, Nick said, ushering Daniel out the door. Soon they came back in. Daniel reached down, turned on the pilot valve, and lit it. Everything's working just fine now. See? The blower just kicked on. It's working normally, Daniel said as he placed the grate back over the furnace. Warm air is now blowing out the floor vents. Thank you so much, Daniel. We did not know what to do, Daisy said. I'm glad everything turned out okay, but it's late, and we all need sleep, so I'm heading out. Good night, Daniel said as he packed up and left. I don't think I can go back to sleep after that. Daisy nodded in agreement as she got up and headed to the kitchen. Want some coffee? Sure. Chapter 6. Christmas. There is no snow. It hardly ever snows in central Louisiana. Adam's adventure of floating through the roof hardly ever happens now. He's been getting the feeling that whatever has been happening is almost finished. There are still these strange memories from before, but there are also these invisible friends. Not scary, helpful. Like that time Daisy left the stove gas on. Like when Luke climbed the rope of the tire swing in the backyard. He was at the top, 20 feet off the ground. Daisy came out and calmly talked him down, but she did not see the friends helping him. Like when they chased the shadow of the house after it did something to the furnace. Adam wonders why they don't talk about these helpful friends. They don't even seem to notice them. Everyone has them, don't they? It was the last time Adam felt himself floating through the springs and above the house. He doesn't remember what happened, only that he started getting sick the next day. Christmas is only 2 days away. Nick took off work to take him to the doctor's office while Daisy stayed home with the kids. Nick sat holding Adam, waiting for the doctor. Guess the furnace keeping the floor warm doesn't keep the kids from getting sick completely. They hardly ever get sick, but never severe. This is serious. Hope they can help. Nick looks up as the doctor enters the room. Well, what do we have here? The doctor asks, looking at Adam, then back to Nick. He just started throwing up and then getting spots. He's got a high fever now. It's 102, the doctor said as he checked the thermometer. It looks like measles. It's been going around, but it's very contagious. How about the rest of the family? Any symptoms? No, everyone else is okay. My wife and I both had measles as kids. Same here, said the doctor. Adam looks through the tired eyes at the doctor. It's almost as if seeing two beings in one space. He's confused, not sure. The image vanishes, and Adam closes his eyes again. There is no specific treatment other than trying to keep the temperature down. Ice bag on the head if needed, or a cold bath to reduce the fever. He will be dehydrated, so lots of extra fluids. Basic supportive care. Keep him away from others because it's very contagious. That is, unless you want all your kids to get it while young. Some families do that to inoculate them for measles as they get older. There is a new vaccine coming out for measles, but it's your choice. Thanks, doctor, Nick said as he prepared to pay the bill and leave. It was Christmas Eve. It was all Nick and Daisy could do to put the kids to bed. Nick got the few gifts they could afford placed under the tree. Dolls for the girls, plastic trucks for the boys. Then there was one big gift, a toy train for all the kids to play with. He placed the unwrapped box on the dining room table. Nothing was wrapped. It was no point, it meant nothing to the kids and lasted only a few seconds. Daisy was busy putting nuts and bubble gum in socks hung by the little cardboard fireplace they set up on the wall opposite of the Christmas tree. Finally, sleep. Adam woke up in the parents' bed feverish. He knew he was being kept away from the other kids. Did Santa come? I can't go with the others. Maybe I can look now. Maybe Santa came. He got out of bed as quietly as he could. Oh, they didn't wake up. He sneaked out of the bedroom, holding onto the side wall. He was cautious as he walked around the furnace grate. It felt like a pit he could fall into. Hang on tight. Don't fall into the furnace, he thought as he made his way into the living room. The Christmas tree was still lit, so there was plenty of light as he made his way, holding onto the wall. He was not alone. There were other beings in the room. They felt like the invisible friends that helped. They were shimmering with sparkling gold forming a bubble. They were blurry, and he could not make out the details. Maybe it was the fever. They turned to him, and he sensed they were smiling. Then they vanished. He could not see them anymore, but he felt they were still there. Adam felt comforted. These were his friends. As he stood there, he heard a sound on the dining room table. He turned. The lid to a box was floating in the air, then settled on a chair seat. Individual sections of train tracks floated out of the box and assembled themselves on the table. The train engine, cars, and caboose floated out of the box onto the tracks. He could not see the ones doing it, but knew they were there. Next he heard a crackling sound like someone had poked logs on a fire. There, floating in midair, near the table, appeared several apples and oranges. He watched as they floated to the little fireplace. They began to separate and form 4 little piles of fruit on the floor. There's that smiling feeling again. It's going to be okay. Then he sensed they were no longer there. They were gone. His curiosity was satisfied. Adam headed back to the parents' bed, hanging tight to the walls. He crawled back in bed and slept until 5 in the morning when the other kids ran in, jumping on the bed shouting, "Santa came! Santa came!" Nick and Daisy woke up. The earlier talk about staying out of the parents' bedroom because Adam is sick had evaporated, just like their hopes of sleeping late. Daisy gained their wits first, saying quickly, "Go to the living room. We'll be right there." She knew they would have to keep Adam separated, so she would stay with him by the little fireplace, while Nick would be with the other kids at the dining table. The other kids have not gotten the measles. We found all the kids together several times, and they just did not get sick. It's odd. Daisy walked into the living room and guided Adam to a chair near the cardboard fireplace as Nick went to sit at the dining room table. Luke, Bonnie, and Sissy were involved with trucks and dolls at the Christmas tree. Daisy went to the tree, picked up one of the trucks, and gave it to Adam. "And this is yours. Merry Christmas!" Adam started running the truck over his legs as he grinned at Daisy. He watched as Nick motioned for Daisy to join him in the dining room table. They felt concerned. He could feel it. They were whispering, but then he started hearing voices in his head. Not voices. They were like memories that were not his, images conveying messages without speech. "I didn't put it together. Did someone come in the house? Are we safe? And the kids?" It was Nick and Daisy. This is what they're feeling, thinking. "They're talking without using their mouth. It must be a grown-up thing. Wonder when I'll grow up enough to be able to do that." "Kids, did you put this train set together?" Nick asked loudly. "Train set!" Luke exclaimed as he and Bonnie ran to the table to see. "Did one of you put this together?" They both shook their heads as they started playing with the train. "The others did it," Adam said loud enough to be heard. "What others?" Daisy asked as she and Nick walked over. "You know, the others. They do stuff. They help." Daisy and Nick looked at each other and shrugged. "They did the apples and oranges." "What apples and oranges?" Nick asked. Adam pointed to the floor. Next to him, there were 4 stacks of apples and oranges at the base of the fireplace. Nick and Daisy had utterly overlooked the piles of fruit. Daisy grabbed Nick's arm and squeezed as they walked out of the room. Images flooded in Adam's mind, conveying messages. "We did not do that. We did not buy those. We bought a train set and everything else. Can't let on. There's no Santa. Someone has been in the house. Maybe a friend? They left gifts and did not take anything." Then Adam fell asleep in the chair. Chapter 7. Ghost. After the Christmas oddity, everything was normal at the McClure house for the remainder of winter. The occasional helpful events continued. Now and then someone would comment about hearing a music box in the boys' room. It happened so often, Daisy just considered it routine. Some of them had made the comments to her that our house might be haunted, but to her the things that happened inside were helpful, so it must be a good haunting, like when Daisy left the oven door open only to return and find it closed. Even when she found Bonnie on top of the refrigerator with no idea how she got there, she wasn't hurt and considered it lucky she did not fall. It wasn't harming the children, so why dwell on it? "I'm home!" Nick shouted upon entering the house, dragging another refrigerator box as a cheap toy. Only this time he had something else. "Kids, I have something for you." The sound of little feet running preceded Luke, and the rest running into the living room. "Is it gone?" Luke asked, reaching Nick first. "No, it's a baby duck. A worker at the store said a bunch hatched out at his house. It was more than he thought he could handle, so he brought some to the store to give away for Easter. I thought you might like a pet." "A duck, ours to keep?" Adam asked. "Yes, but you have to take care of it, feed it, find a place for it to live." Daisy walked into the living room. "Just like him. He did not consider asking me. I'm the one going to be here, having to take care of it. I can already imagine the smell, and then I'll have to deal with the kids once it dines on them." "What a surprise," she said in that tone, informing Nick he could have handled things better. Nick placed the large box in the middle of the floor, allowing the kids to put the duck at the back of the box. there at the other end, talking to it, trying to get it to obey commands. "I wish you would have talked to me first." "What's the big deal? It's just a duck. The kids will have fun," Nick responded. "Oh," Daisy snorted, headed back to the kitchen. Nick headed to the bathroom to take a shower. While playing with the duck, Adam felt something, like something waking up, under the carport. There was that dark feeling again. It was growing stronger. He stood, backing away through the doorway and into the hall with the furnace. He saw the furnace, a twinge of fear. That dark feeling grew even more potent. He kept backing away. It's the door to the bathroom. "Daddy's in there. I'll be safe," he thought as he opened the door and went in. Feeling safer, he undressed and stepped into the tub. Nick wiped the water from his eyes, asking a bit surprised, "What are you doing?" "Getting clean," Adam answered, as everything was perfectly normal. "Well, here's some shampoo. Go ahead and wash your hair." Adam felt better. The dark feeling subsided, then vanished like the shampoo running down the drain. Better. Nick arrived home to find the large cardboard refrigerator box standing upright at the front door. He looked inside. It was empty except for the duck leavings. So he entered the house with his usual, "I'm home." Daisy greeted him, and before he could ask, she said, "I put it out there because of the smell. I could not take the stink any longer. So I put the duck in the box and put the box out front. The kids made a fuss. I sent them to the room to play." "The box is out there, but the duck's not in it," Nick said. "What?" "I put it in there," Daisy said, opening the door and looking into the box. "I don't know what happened. I put it in there. It hasn't been out there that long. Something must have gotten it. The kids will be upset, but I'm not. I'm glad it's gone. It was stinking up the house. We can tell the kids the mama duck came and got it." Nick sighed, taking the box to the carport to be hauled off later as Daisy started preparing dinner. Macaroni and cheese. Daisy told the children during dinner. She created an elaborate story of how the baby duck was lost and the mama duck had been seen in the neighborhood searching. Then the mama duck found it and took it home. She is a great storyteller. The children accepted the explanation. After all, this is what their parents would do if they were lost. After dinner, everyone settled down, got ready for bed, and quickly went to sleep, except for Adam. He had felt that dark presence again. "Am I lost, like the baby duck and the others can't find me?" he wondered. He had been lying there pondering for a long time, then thought, if it can't come to me, maybe I can go to them. Adam stared unblinking at the bed springs above him. He wished. He squinted. It felt like the air in a thunderstorm. His skin was tingling. The bed springs above shifted. He was seeing two of everything. The atmosphere in the room cooled as his sight cleared. It didn't work. I'm sleepy. I'll try tomorrow, he thought as he fell asleep. What? Thought I heard something from the boys' bedroom. Daisy sat up in bed, looking at the open doorway leading into the boys' room. There's a man in the door. The grocery store lights are shining in the boys' window. The doorway is backlighted. He was young and looked around confused. He did not know where he was and appeared to be searching for an explanation. First looking at her, then the room, then behind him. He was trim, short haircut, khaki uniform with a cloth hat tucked into his belt. He looks like a World War II soldier. He looks lost. I'm awake, sitting up. This is real. She nudged Nick without turning. She prompted him again. As soon as Nick turned toward her, the soldier vanished. What? Nick asked. Did you see him? The soldier in the doorway. You saw him, didn't you? The man in the boy's doorway? The soldier? You saw him. No. What are you talking about? There's no one there. He was right there, clear as day. I saw him. It was probably just a dream. Go back to bed. There's nothing there. I know what I saw. It was real. You're never here. You don't see what's going on, like the duck disappearing. Stuff like that happens all the time, and you're not here to see it. I know what I saw. You never believe me, Daisy said as she tried to get back to sleep. I know what I saw. Daisy thinks she saw a ghost, Nick told his sisters, laughing. They had taken the family to visit his sisters, Lena and Ethel, that lived 45 minutes away. An easy trip for the kids. Everything was going great until this moment. I hate it when he does this to me. He likes to bring up these strange things, trying to embarrass me. I could just kill him right now. Daisy seethed. Stop it, Nick. Tell us. Ignore Nick. He's just like that. We'd like you to hear. We want to hear, Lena said. Go ahead, Daisy. Tell him, Nick said mockingly. All right, Daisy explained what she saw just as it happened. She left out no details, including where Nick doesn't believe her. He never believes her. That sounds like a relative of my husband, Ethel said. It can't be. I know his family. They're all blonde and a bit round. This man was thin with curly black hair. It couldn't have been him. Ethel left the room and returned shortly with a box. She opened it and pulled out a photo showing it to Daisy. Is this him? Daisy looked at the soldier in the photo in disbelief. That's him. The uniform and everything. This is the man that was in our doorway. I believe you, Ethel said. He was killed in a car crash wreck on the underpass near your house. The one on the train goes over. It's dangerous. I think your house is haunted. I also noticed something odd at your house once when I visited. This music box played in the sunroom you made into the boys' room. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find it. I told you I was not making up stuff, Nick. Something is going on in our house. 3 against 1. I'm outnumbered. I've got to give in, but I still don't believe it. Fine. It doesn't hurt anybody. We should be getting back. Nick said as he got up to say his goodbyes. Don't rush off, Ethel said. Stay a little longer. No, we've got to be getting back. Kids will be getting tired. Hugs and kisses were exchanged as they made their way back to the car. Well, what do you think now, Nick? Do you still think I'm making it up? I don't want to hear about it anymore. Let's just get home, Nick said, feeling this nonsense had gone too far. I knew something was going on in that house. Okay, it's haunted. But helpful? It seems friendly, although that soldier seemed confused. I can live with it as long as it doesn't hurt the kids. Chapter 8. Terror. The starter yard was too inviting for 2 young boys. The house reminded them of a castle. That's the word Daisy used when they first drove down the boulevard. It did not look like the other houses. It was big. Part of its roof was flat, with a table and chairs on it. They could imagine themselves on top, looking around below for enemies creeping up. Their imaginations ran wild as they played. They ran around the landscaped yard, and when they gathered their courage enough, they would run and touch the front steps. Touching the front door was too much, but the steps were okay. Get out of my yard! Mrs. Stoddard yelled through the open front door. She was wearing a housecoat and hung onto the doorframe. The boys bolted, knowing that if Mrs. Stoddard told their parents, they would be in trouble again. They'd been caught before picking flowers from a yard, and she was not happy with them being in her yard again. It was like the story Daisy had told them about the witch that lived in a house of candy. It was inviting, but if you got caught, you were in trouble. Adam looked around. They were in the lane. It's full of shadows, and the boys knew this was another place they were not supposed to be. The sound of a train in the distance. A train's coming, Luke said excitingly, knowing they'd be able to see parts of it through the trees and the brush. Luke immediately forgot that this was off limits. He was excited to hear and perhaps get glimpses of the train passing by. He started walking along the edge of the lane where it sloped down to the gully. Adam, however, was frozen. It felt like ants crawling on his skin. He tried brushing them off, but there was nothing there. He looked and saw the leaves above start to move. There was no wind. The shadows seemed to take on life. The pine trees swayed. Fear swelled up inside him, and a limb fell nearby. He turned to look. He noticed someone crouching in the brush, something with red eyes. Who is that? Adam asked, pointing to the figure hiding. Where? Over there. I don't see anybody, Luke replied. I know I saw something, Adam thought as he moved closer. It's just a bush with red berries. There's nothing here. There was something else. The train arrived quickly. Luke cheered. Let's race it back home, Adam said as he crouched into a running position. He wanted to get out of the lane fast. Go! Luke yelled as they ran back the lane, back to the boulevard, around the curve, and back home. I win! You win, Adam said, relieved to be home. What are you boys up to? Nick asked as he pushed the mower across the front yard. It was a kind of mower with two large wheels and a set of blades that turned with wheels. There was a long wooden handle. Nick was using to push. Nick couldn't complain. It had been given to them, and it worked. We raced the train, and I won, Luke said. Forgetting that they were not supposed to be in the lane, Adam told Nick. We were in the lane, and the tree started moving, and a big limb fell, and there was no wind, and it was scary. You're not supposed to be in the lane, Nick said, knowing full well it was impossible to keep them from going where they're not told to go. He continued knowing. As far as the wind, if you remember, I was with you once in the gully when the train came by, and it created a wind, like in a tunnel. But we weren't in the gully. It was top of the trees, Adam said, figuring Nick would dismiss this kind of talk. It's just your imagination. You got scared, that's all. Can I sleep in the top bunk? You okay switching, Luke? Okay. Go inside and tell your mother of your adventures. She likes that sort of thing. Both boys ran inside as Nick continued mowing. I wish Daisy would not encourage this kind of fantasy. It's useless in real life. One day they'll have to get a real job that pays well to have a good life. Adam woke on the top bunk with a feeling of dread so powerful he could not move. He was staring at the ceiling, unmoving. Waves of fear washed over him. If he moved, it would see him. It's here. Daddy says it's not real. It's not real. It's here. He could hardly breathe. He clenched his fist around the bed sheets as he turned his head toward the louvered window. He was eye to eye with it. It was not imagination. It was real. His breath left him as if sucked out. It felt like he was being pulled toward the glass. It was not like the others. It was powerful, hungry, and it wanted him. As terror filled Adam, the red eyes glowed brighter. The oily brown fur on his body moved in waves. It moved with every wave of fear Adam felt. It was small, humanoid, and floating outside Adam's window. Hungry. It was feeding off his fear. Another wave, and the eyes flared. Images appeared in Adam's head. Images of anger, pain, suffering, never-ending torture to create more fear. It was draining him, taking everything from him. Adam was helpless. He couldn't stop it. Something else behind me, in the room, Adam thought in a small fragment of his mind not yet consumed by fear. I can't. He felt pressure building between him and the being outside the window. It began pulsing, as if getting stronger, and building its strength. It flared, and Adam was hit by a force that flung him out of the bunk bed. There was no sound as he hit something soft. He hung upside down in the middle of the room, floating, stationary. Then gentle hands slowly turned him and set him on the floor. Adam stood there stunned, drained. He looked up at the window. Fear. Glowing red eyes flared, then a sense of peace from behind. A sense of protection enveloped Adam and expanded outward. The red eyes dimmed. It was angry. It moved closer, reaching out as if to go through the glass. It hit this feeling of protection as if it was solid. It stopped. The feeling of anger intensified as it tried to push through the glass. As it did, this sense of protection changed to one of love. The dark being felt pain and backed away. It wanted to get inside but couldn't. It continued backing away, hitting the lawnmower handle. Nick had leaned against the back wall. It fell to the ground as the being vanished into the shadows. Adam felt his hand steadying him as he got his senses back. His strength returned. He could think again. He bolted forward into his parents' bedroom without looking back. Then, jumping into the bed, he cried, Mama! Daddy! There was something outside the window with glowing red eyes. It tried to get me. Both Nick and Daisy woke startled, trying to understand what Adam was saying. Something outside your window, Nick said, getting up and looking out the window. I don't see anything. Maybe it was just a bad dream. It was real. I saw it. Adam pleaded for Daisy to believe him as she held him. Please go outside and check. It might still be there. It was just a dream, Adam. There's nothing there, Nick said, failing to convince Adam. Nick, just go outside and look around. It'd make me feel safer also, Daisy said. Fine, but you're coming with me, pointed Adam. You're going to have to learn to deal with this sort of thing, these bad dreams, one day, so you might as well start now by going with me to look. Adam did not want to go, but he had no choice in the matter. He would have to go, so he got up and joined Nick walking past the still sleeping Luke. He can sleep through anything, Nick thought as he passed by the bunk bed, grabbed a flashlight from the washroom, and headed out the back door. Adam was holding his hand tightly. See? There's nothing here, Nick told Adam. Look for footprints. It might have left footprints. Nick shone the flashlight on the ground, moving slow enough that Adam could see for himself. See? No tracks. There is nothing here, and there was not anything here. It was just a bad dream. Now let's go inside and put you back to bed. Can I sleep with you and Mama tonight? Okay, but don't get into the habit of running to us every time you have a bad dream. Okay, Adam said dejectedly. It wasn't a dream. As they walked toward the back door, Nick noticed the mower handle had fallen to the ground. It must have been an animal that knocked it over, maybe a raccoon. He picked it up and leaned it against the back wall with no more thought about it. He put Adam to bed and went to sleep. I'll be glad when all this foolishness stops. The following day, Adam tried to convince his mother it was real. It wasn't a dream, Mama, Adam yelled in Daisy's general direction. Nick had gone to work. Daisy made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. The kids sat eating at the dining room table, while Daisy moved between the kitchen and washroom to do daily chores. Okay, Daisy yelled from the washroom across the kitchen. I saw a ghost. A music box only some can hear. Things moving almost as if helping. It's never been much of anything, but never bad. I think he saw something. I wonder what it was. As she thought this, the back door flung open, frightening her for just a moment. God, why so jumpy? It's just the wind. Blew the door open. It's just the wind. She couldn't help it. The slight twinge of fear, so much unexplained. What if there's a harmful component to all of this? What if it was something bad? That whatever is here is changing into something terrible. At that moment, the power flashed. Another twinge of fear. It's windy today. Just pulling the power lines a bit. Maybe a limb's hitting one. There are a lot of trees around. Everything's normal. She tried her best to convince herself. Mama! Adam yelled from the other room. Daisy hurried back. What is it? I'm scared. Why? There's nothing to be scared about. I think I saw that thing. It's back. Adam said, trying not to be afraid. Did you see it? No. What makes you think it's back? Daisy asked. I can feel it. It was outside the front door. It knocked. I looked out the window and there was nothing there. It felt like it went around back, Adam said. Daisy felt a chill run through her body. What if there was something there? What if it came in the back door? The power flashed again. Her fear grew. It's in the house, Adam said as the back door flew open again. Daisy moved to the dining area. From this vantage, she could see outside to the front door and inside to the living room. Okay, kids, gather around me, and I'll tell you a nice story while you finish your lunch. The kids gathered around Daisy. As they did, Adam felt the love and protection of a parent. Safe. Nothing can hurt them. He felt something smile from somewhere in the room. Then a rush of energy. It felt good. It filled the house. Adam could almost see a dark shadow being pushed toward the front door inside the house. It was caught between the front door and the rest of the house. It couldn't get through the door. It was almost as if the wood of the house itself had become infused with something that the dark thing couldn't cross. Daisy screamed. She was watching the doorknob of the front door turn. The inside knob was turning as if something was desperately trying to get out. A massive wave of energy only Adam could sense rolled through the house, pushing the dark thing through the front door, severely damaging it in the process. Then it was gone. Daisy crowded the kids, dragging them toward her and toward the phone. She called Nick. Get home now. Something's in the house. What's in the house? I don't know. Something. The doorknob is turning all by itself, like something wanted to get out. Get home now. Now! Daisy yelled forcefully enough to cause Nick genuine concern. Nick moved quickly. The next thing he knew, he was opening the front door to find Daisy and the kids huddled on the couch. Is everyone okay? What happened? What was in the house? Nick asked, quickly moving to the couch. I don't know. Something Ghost? I don't know. The back door blew open twice. The power was flashing. The door handle turned on its own. Something is in this house. There she goes again, being overly dramatic. No wonder Adam gets scared and has bad dreams. I'll check the house and make sure no one is here. Wait here, Nick said as he moved from room to room, searching the house. Finally, he stopped at the open back door. The latch is stuck inside the door. It was unable to lock in place, and with this wind, no wonder it blew the door open. He pulled out his pocket knife that he always carried, opened it, pried the latch just a bit. It popped back out. He closed the door, and this time it latched shut. The wind couldn't blow it open again. There's no one here. The latch on the back door was stuck. Probably happened when one of the kids was running in and out. It wouldn't latch shut, so the wind kept blowing it open. The power flashes were probably the wind. It's happened a couple of times at the store also. It's nothing. Everything's fine, Nick said confidently. He found the solution to everything. What about the door not turning off by itself? Maybe the knob was also stuck. Then all this wind rattled and the door caused it to unstick, making it move back to its normal position, looking like someone was turning it. There's always a normal solution. Everything doesn't have to be ghosts, Nick said in a way that Daisy knew there was no way to convince him otherwise. He's never believed in anything supernatural, so why should he start now? Daisy thought of the kids. You're right. There's always a normal explanation. I guess I was just stressed out. I'm sorry if I scared all of you, she said, looking at the kids. I just got overexcited. It's all okay. Everything's okay. Nick headed back to the car. Daisy joined him. Nick, I want out of this house. What? There's nothing wrong with the house. I just showed you everything had an explanation. I'm not going to argue with you. I want out of this house. Do you understand me? Daisy's finger pointing at Nick. I hear you, but there's nothing I can do right now. There is a chance that I can get an interview at a bank in West Monroe. It's lots more pay if I can get it. If I get the job, then we move. Until then, we're stuck here. Daisy felt a bit of relief. A chance. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. Got to start making calls to relatives and anybody else I know. It's going to happen. Nick went back to work as Daisy rejoined the kids. She pulled out a giant puzzle to ensure the remainder of the day remained calm and they would be together. I'll talk to Nick more when he gets home, but that move is going to happen. Chapter 9. Moving. It's getting late. Nick should be back soon from the job interview. It's only a 2-hour drive. I hope he gets it. It'll be a lot more money, and we can get away from here. Daisy prepared sloppy joes for the kids later than usual, hoping the meat would still be warm when Nick got home. It's easy enough to reheat. He'll probably eat somewhere before he gets home. It'll be here just in case. It was late when Nick arrived home. Daisy had already put the kids to bed. Good thing he had gotten something to eat before heading back. They offered me the job, he said, walking in the door. That's great, Daisy said, jumping up to kiss him. I also worked out a deal with them where they will pay for the movers, so we don't have to do it all ourselves, Nick said happily. That'll be nice. When do you start? 3 weeks. I can get my 2-week notice at the store, and then take some time to work around here. Clean up the yard, get rid of the junk, so the house will look good to sell. We have got to find a new house, Daisy said. The bank has a lien on a house. The owner took out the mortgage from the bank. He let them know that he's looking to sell. I've got the owner's name and can call in the morning. I'll have to start work even if we don't find a house. My Uncle Ray lives in town. I've already talked to him, and it's okay for me to stay with him during the week and come home on weekends. That means you will be by yourself during the week, Nick said, expecting her to complain about being on her own. Wonderful, Daisy said without thinking. We have survived this long. What's a few more weeks? Even a couple of months is worth it to get away from here. That threw Nick off guard a bit. No complaining? She really wants to move. Have you eaten? I can eat the sloppy joe mix if you're hungry. No, I picked up something before I left, Nick said as he headed toward the bedroom. It's been a long day. I'm ready to go to bed. I'll be there in a minute. I need to put up a few things, then I'll be in. Daisy was excited, thinking about the future. New job, new house, new neighborhood, a new life. Change from here will be so good. She then headed to the bedroom. It's been a great day. The 2-hour drive in the car is worth it. Lots of trees and nice houses in the neighborhood. There's some kids riding bicycles. Wonderful. This is the house, Daisy thought as Nick pulled in the driveway. We're here, Nick said, even though everyone had already figured it out. The kids had been marveling at the pond they passed a few houses back and fantasizing about what they could do there. He could tell Daisy was already sizing up the neighbors by the appearances of their yard. He looked over just to see her expression on viewing this yard. Daisy's eyes showed it, a bit of disgust at all the clutter in front. The bare wire stacked up made it look like a junkyard rather than a home. There is a 2-car carport. That's a plus, she thought as an older gentleman walked out. Hi, Nick, the man said, walking over. Daisy, this is Mr. Gibbons. He owns the house. Mr. Gibbons, this is my wife, Daisy, and our 4 children, Adam, Luke, Bonnie, and Sissy, Nick said, gesturing at each one in turn. Mr. Gibbons could tell by the look on Daisy's face she was concerned. Don't you worry, Miss McClure. I don't live like this. This was a rental house. The renters just up and left one day, leaving all this junk behind. I can no longer clean and fix all this. That's why I'm selling it for such a low price. I completely understand, Daisy said, feeling a bit relieved that Mr. Gibbons knew this was a problem and reduced the price accordingly. Let me show you around, he said, leading them into the house, going room to room. It's a 3-bedroom house, bath and a half. There is a living space, a dining area, it's a den, a washroom with the washer and dryer connections. The empty lot behind you belongs to the city. You will not have any neighbors behind you, so that's a plus. Excuse us a moment while Daisy and I talk it over, Nick said as he pulled Daisy aside. Well, what do you think? It's so much work, and the kids could get hurt with all this metal in the yard. There must be better houses out there. That's true, but it's a great price, and we need all the help we can get right now. It will take a lot to fix it, but we can take things slowly once we move in. We don't have much time to find another house. I can't stay at my uncle's place forever, and I know you wanted to move. Daisy started thinking back to all the strange events that make her home, and she decided right then, let's get it. We'll make it work. Nick went to talk to Mr. Gibbons while Daisy informed the kids. The state of the yard or the house didn't matter. The kids wanted to move in right now, but Daisy told them they needed to pack first and then move everything up here. You don't want your toys to be left behind now, do you? Left behind? Those words stuck with Adam. It was a week before the movers arrived. Nick and Daisy had been busy packing and forgot to let their only real friends in the neighborhood, the Kristoffs, know about the new job. So they gathered up the kids, walked a short distance down the boulevard, arriving at the Kristoffs' trailer. I hope you don't mind us stopping by, Daisy asked Ann. Of course not. Come on in. I see you have everyone with you. Have a seat. I'll go get Sam, Ann said as she left to find Sam. She returned shortly, followed by Sam, who was carrying a bottle of homemade blackberry wine. Would you like a glass? Sam asked. I'll not turn down a free drink, Nick said. Daisy started. The reason we wanted to stop by is to let you know Nick got a new job. Ann giggled a little. We know. Adam told us. You know he loves to come over and spend time in the greenhouse just looking at the plants. We were nervous at first, but Adam was careful. He told us last visit that you're moving. We saw the boxes and didn't want to interrupt. We thought you'd tell us when you were ready. Adam told you? Daisy said, not a bit surprised. There are no secrets with these kids around. So when's the move? Sam asked, taking another drink. The movers arrive next week. We're boxing up the breakables and other valuables, so we don't want them to handle those. Have you found a buyer for your house? Ann asked. Yes, Nick replied. It's a couple with one boy, the same age as Adam. Oh, good. There'll still be a child in the neighborhood. We will miss you so much. We have to keep in touch, Daisy said, looking at Ann. Of course. We'll keep in touch. You're a phone call away, Ann responded. The remainder of the visit went as they usually do, drinking a bit of homemade wine. Luke's playing with their dog Bingo. Adam is out in the greenhouse, and the girls were playing on the floor. It was a pleasant visit. I'm going to miss them, Daisy thought as they walked back. I hope we stay in touch. Chapter 10, Left Behind. The movers arrived in their big rig. It was more than enough for the contents of the house. Those that were most valuable and some things I might need for the kids during the trip ended up in the car. Everything has been going smoothly. The movers finished in a few hours, time enough for the 2-hour drive to their new home in West Monroe, and still get the truck unloaded. They could sleep on the floor and unpack the next day. Luke ran up to Daisy with something in his hand. "Look what I found! Can we try one?" It was a pack of cigarettes one of the movers must have dropped. "They know about smoking. The kids have seen other people smoke, including these movers. I need to break them of the habit before it starts." Daisy looked at Luke and said, "Sure. Maybe your brother and sisters want to try as well. Go get them. Come back, and you can try it here." She smirked, knowing the consequences of this adventure, but it would be worth it. As the kids gathered around a box in the front yard, Daisy pulled a single cigarette from the box. After that, she would give the pack back to the workers. "I don't think they would mind donating 1 cigarette for this cause." She lit the cigarette and handed it to Adam, then down the line, Luke next, then Bodie. Sissy was too young, but might somehow remember the other kids' reactions. They all choked upon inhaling, as expected. Then they started turning green and throwing up. Daisy grinned. "Would you like to smoke some more?" she asked, holding the lit cigarette to them. "No, no more," the kids replied, talking over each other. "Just a bit of cleanup, but it worked. They'll never smoke again. They might not enjoy the car ride, but it was worth it." About that time, another car pulled up and parked on the road. Don and Grace Nebo with their son, Don Jr. "They probably want to see what the place looks like, empty, and start making plans." Nick was busy helping the movers, so Daisy greeted him. "Hello! So nice to see you. I was not sure we would see you again after you signed the papers." And Grace replied, "We wanted to wish you well on your move, but we also wanted to look around and, get an idea of what we might need to do first." "Is Nick around?" Don asked. "He's in the back of the truck with the movers, I think," Daisy said as Don moved to find Nick. Turning back to Grace, Daisy said, "We are almost finished moving things out. Don Jr. can play with the kids, but they're feeling a bit sick and may not feel like playing." "Well, what happened?" Grace asked. Daisy explained about the cigarettes as they walked into the house. They discussed ideas for each room. Upon entering the sunroom, Grace said, "I like the idea of turning this into a boy's bedroom. The open window in the room makes it feel like you're sleeping outside. Don Jr. will love it." Daisy nodded, just a bit concerned, thinking, Don Jr. is the same age as Adam. It's this room where many strange things like music happen. What am I thinking? Nick explained everything. There's no haunting, nothing weird's happening. It's all got an explanation. Feeling relieved, Daisy turned to Grace, saying, "I need to check on the kids and finish packing. We wish you the best in your new home." "Thanks. You have a safe trip to your new home," Grace said, waving to Daisy as she left the house. Daisy met Nick in the front yard. "The movers have a few more items to get, but all the small stuff is packed. We can leave now and get to our new house first. We can get the kids settled in and be ready when the movers arrive. They know how to get there," Nick said. "Kids, it's time to go," Daisy yelled across the yard. They came running as Daisy ushered them into the car. It's cramped, but that's nothing new having 4 kids. Adam had this unusual feeling all day. He looked back at the white house with red shutters as they pulled away. This is where he could retain a fragment of memory from before. It would make him different, leading him down a lonely, dark path. The dark beings were trapped by these shimmering ones. This was goodbye. They were no longer going to be with him, protecting him. These feelings faded the further away they drove. "I'm alone now," he thought, even though he was in a crowded car. Then his thoughts turned to the future, wondering what would happen with him. It was that feeling of being scared and thrilled at the same time. It's a new adventure. It's a rainy day, typical for Louisiana. The McClures had been in their new home a few months. They were still finding bits of wire in the yard, probably will for years, but enough is cleaned out for the kids to play. They were still doing repair work. "It's going to take years, but Nick is making good money. We have the time and can afford it now," Daisy thought as she continued putting wallpaper border around the top of the hallway. The phone rings. Daisy stops what she's doing to pick up the phone. "It's the Kristoffs," Adam thought from the other room as the phone rang. "Hello?" Daisy said, answering the phone. "Hello, Daisy. It's Ann Kristoff. We wanted to call and see how you're doing." "Ann? Everything is great. It's been a lot of work getting it livable. I'm hanging wallpaper right now, but it's a good neighborhood with other kids. How are you and Sam?" "How's bingo?" Adam yells loud enough in the other room to be heard through the phone. Tell Adam Bingo is fine and missing him. Adam hardened his head along with images of Bingo. It says Bingo is fine and missing you, Adam, Daisy yelled back. Satisfied, Adam turned back to playing on this crazy day. Daisy, I wanted to tell you something else. You remember those times you told me about strange things in your house here, and most of it was friendly or helpful? Yes, Daisy asked nervously. Well, you know the Nebos had that little boy, Adam's age, and they made his bedroom in that sunroom your boy stayed in. Yes. The boy kept going on about seeing things coming to get him, dark, scary things. They never saw anything and could not stop him from being hysterical all the time. Finally, they committed him to a psychiatric hospital. Isn't that odd? That is odd, Daisy said, guilt welling up inside her. Nick always had an explanation for what was happening, even though Adam said he saw things. None of the other kids ever did. It never affected Adam that way, though, and we just figured it was bad dreams. The boy was probably unstable anyway and needed professional help. There's nothing else new around here. Everything else is the same. Sam still makes wine and works in the greenhouse. I've taken up knitting, so all quiet here. I'm glad to hear that, Daisy said, with guilt, not letting her go. Tell Sam we say hello. It's a lot of work here, but we're making it. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad we talked. Take care, Daisy, and give the kids a hug for us. I'll do that. Bye, Ann. Daisy hung up the phone. It was real. Everything had a simple explanation, but it happened to their boy. It was real. That poor boy. I can't imagine being Grace and going through that. God, I feel so guilty not telling them. But why would I? What Adam saw was real? It came after him? At least we're away from that place. No more strange happenings. Everything's normal. Normal. She went back to hanging wallpaper, trying to let the guilt pass. Adam continued playing, thinking, I'll be glad when I grow up and they teach me how to talk without using mouse. I'm only hearing parts now, but one day